I don't know. What is net worth then? Is that what you've got in the bank?
I think net worth is basically the whole package of everything. Roll it all up.
No, I'm worth way more than that.
Yeah, there we
go. Right, guys, just to let you know that support for today's Fozcast is brought to you by Manscaped. They are the best in men's below-the-waist treatment. Current grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offer precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. That's 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. With this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code BFCGK. It's on screen now.
At manscaped.com.
At manscaped.com.
What are you saying, mate? You've got the old 4.0.
Mate, I need that so bad. I am a shambles at the minute. Have a look at this. Just have a little goose.
No, I think you're okay. But it's your wedding anniversary coming up, so you need to get that sorted.
I need to get that sorted. Honestly, I get in the shower and have a little look down. I think, geez, where is it? I can't even see it anymore. It's a mess.
But the beauty of it is, though, with Manscaped, we used to do it with inferior tools.
Mate.
You'd nick yourself.
Oh, it's a bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath. Like everywhere. And then you're trying to dry it with kitchen roll and toilet roll. Ends up getting in your boxes. It's a mess, mate. Make no mistake. Use this bad boy and you will not cut yourself. I promise you. This is world class, to be fair.
It's got a little light on it. It's got different guards for different length. So if you want to rock a slightly bigger throw.
I was going to say, I'm not even touching mine because mine's looking good at the minute, but you could have done it on yours, but you don't even really grow a beard, do you?
I don't. But what I do have is blonde hairs coming out my ears. So what I've got is the weed whacker.
Can you use it on your nose as well?
Mate,
that's disgusting. I need a new one now. Need to tell you about this ball deodorant they've got as well, because it is roasting hot in here, and this would have come in so handy today. It is a joke. How hot is it in here?
Mate, I've got that on and I'm clean as a whistle.
All right, show off.
No sweat on my balls.
Absolute show off. Right, guys, that's Manscaped. Get your discount code here right now. Welcome to another episode of the Fozcast. Today, with me as usual, we've got my mate Rhino Legs Tom. How are you, Tom?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yourself?
I'm very, very good. Thank you very much. Are you excited for today's pod?
Very excited for today's pod because this is like it should have happened already, shouldn't it?
It should have happened already. Let me just introduce my guests first, and then I will explain what Tom was talking about then. So today we have Mark Goldbridge. If people don't know who Mark Goldbridge is, he is basically a bit of a YouTube legend. He is the owner, the runner of United Stand, amongst others, Driving with Goldbridge, who we are massive fans of here at the Fozcast. Mark, how are you, mate?
I'm great. Thanks very much for having me on. I've been looking forward to this. Second time lucky.
Right, okay.
If anyone wants directions, I'm going to write a book for Christmas.
I'm surprised he agreed to come on today because there was a little incident, wasn't there?
Well, driving up today, I was listening to you did your Jackmate podcast, and what became very clear on the Jackmate podcast is that you're not a big fan of giving people second chances.
Did I say that? I normally say the opposite, to be fair, but go on.
But so anyway, okay, right, guys. This time last week, we had booked Mark in to come on the Fozcast, hadn't we?
Yeah.
So you don't live too far from here, do you? You don't live too far from me. We're both sort of Midlands based, so we're not a million miles away. However, the day in question, I was walking off the training pitch and the drugs testers were in, okay? They were in at Watford, and when you get drugs tested as a player, you basically just have to go straight with the drugs tester. You don't get to go back to the changing rooms. You don't get to get your phone. You don't get
your pee bag with the spares.
You literally have nothing, yeah? You cannot do anything. You just go straight with this guy, straight into a room. And that day, you either usually normally do bloods or urine, or just urine. And that day, it was bloods and urine. And the bloods and the urine is a nightmare because it takes forever. Because obviously, first of all, they have to do the blood. But in the meantime, you're drinking as much fluid as possible so that you can go for a wee. I couldn't go for a wee. It took me like 2 hours that day. I didn't get home till like 4 o'clock or something stupid. However, I couldn't let you know, could I? Until like, I don't know what stupid o'clock. So
I stood outside.
I know, you were literally...
Well, it takes Ben an hour and a half to get home from training, and at 12:30. No, what time are you doing? I can't remember.
1 o'clock.
I was ringing him an hour and a half before, going, well, like, where is he? Kind of thinking he needs to be on the road. So I always check up. How are you getting on? And that's code for, are you on the road yet? So couldn't get hold of him. So then in the end, I've got Ben's missus to pull up the Tesla app and say, he's still at the training ground. And I'm like, oh, shit. I haven't got Mark's number.
It wasn't great, was it? I'm sorry, mate. I'm really, really sorry.
Good excuse.
I took it quite well, to be honest. I got on the phone and I told the missus and I said, you'll never believe what this Poundland Jordan Pickford's done to me. I've bought him on my FIFA career mode so we can talk about it. Sell him. Get rid of him. Anyone will do.
That's what my son does. Quick sell, mate. He's not even transfer market. He quick sells the life out of me. So yeah, I am, mate. Honestly, I'm really, really sorry. It's completely unprofessional. We don't do that kind of stuff, honestly. So thank you for the second time of asking coming up, because I only texted you like 2 or 3 days ago as well. And to be fair, you've sorted it out rapid. Considering
it's just
as
down
well,
the road. If it's like, say, London is everything in this industry.
Yeah,
so
true.
It's nice what a fantastic setup as well.
It is.
And just
lovely.
down the road.
Yeah, it's nice. Let's talk about what you actually do, okay? The day job, all right?
Yeah.
The thing that pays the bills. United Stand, it's the big one, okay? We watch it. We're massive fans of it, to be perfectly honest with you. The watch-alongs are absolutely top class. Like, we've tried to do a watch-along, and they are frigging hard, mate, honestly. How hard are they?
Yeah, they're very hard.
Yeah, very, very difficult.
What did you find hard about it? I'm intrigued.
Do you know what? Actually, it was more the technical side, because we had good setup, but we had like a couple of little audio issues. And there was like a little buzz. We had an aircon unit in there, and we discovered it was that. It was 400 degrees in the office. And then we couldn't figure it out. And someone was saying it's the computer. And we're like, it's not the computer. It's like an all singing, all dancing. And then we moved the laptop out the office and it stopped. And we were like, it's not that. Sure, it's not that. So we don't know. That's the frustrating
from
thing.
my point of view, the bit I found hard was, I think I tried to do it a little bit to like almost commentate on the game.
Yeah.
And you can't commentate on the game, can you? So I was trying to read some of the comments underneath, and literally everyone kept saying, we don't fucking need commentary, just like tell us stories and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, but that is what you do really, really well, don't you?
I think it's just a skill, like, you know. I mean, I don't like to sort of big up myself in any way or shape or form. I just do what I do, and if people watch it, and if people don't, which is why I don't really care about the hate or anything like that, really. But I think it's just something that I sort of fell into, and it was probably just from being down the pub with the lads. You know, you are watching the game, but you're also talking about, oh, you'll never believe what happened last week with Larry or something like that. So sort of with the chat, that's what I'll do. I'll see someone go on about, like, have you got any breakup advice? And I'll go, well, you've got to get back on a horse. not a real horse. That would be illegal. And you know, you
can't call her a horse.
You've got to. So I just have a bit of fun with it, really, and just treat it as, I do really enjoy it, because I think if you don't enjoy it, it's a long shift. Especially because I do it on my own. I'd love to do it with somebody else, but because I do it like from my own setup, and that's the way it's always been. It's 2 hours, 3 hours if it's United game.
Yeah, so it's a long time, isn't it?
You've got to entertain yourself when you're doing it.
The views are insane, mate. Honestly, the views are absolutely insane. I personally would love to come and do an episode with you one time.
Yeah, definitely.
I would absolutely love. I don't know if it's a good idea whilst I'm still playing, just
Probably
because.
not.
Yeah, so I think I'll wait till I've retired. But I honestly, mate, I would absolutely buzz off coming to do one of them.
Yeah,
I think what I love about it is that, and this is what we tried to get across when you and Bars did a couple in the summer, was it's not studio polished, and you put your own interpretation on, you know, everyone's a prat. Yeah. I love it, because the studio stuff and Sky, and you get people like Micah Richards who are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see people in a really natural environment, and that's why you had takeaway delivered, having a couple of beers, and you want to hear people talk candidly, don't you? That's the whole point, is that you dial in and tune into people, go, he's a dickhead, actually.
That's the great thing about having two people, because you can have a beer and you can have something to eat. I can't have anything to eat because it's dead air and people can hear me chomping, and they're like, stop eating. I haven't eaten for 3 hours. And if I have a drink, I've got to be very careful, because if I do need to go to the toilet, again, that's got to be really, you know, you're talking pit stop sort of thing. I've even thought about having a bucket and stuff, but I'd probably
just
get
quickly
in trouble for that.
zipping it out and chucking it down there.
That is always a challenge, because I'd love to get pissed and have a pizza.
Oh, we need to do a drunk one time. This is gold, honestly, Mark. This is the thing. No one's ever done it like that before, have they? That would be absolutely gold.
I will now.
Yeah.
We're just giving, like,
cut that out.
God's sake. So you said a minute ago about the hate that you get. Okay, so for you, is it in the chat there and then? Do you see it there and then? And are you very good at just sort of brushing over that? Or will you make a point of like literally picking on people and going, you've just called me a twat, explain yourself?
I think when it first started, I used to like, you know, I think the brain's got a way of, whether you're on social media or anything, you get drawn into the negative things, don't you? So there'd be somebody on the chat and they'd just say something quite violent. You start having an argument with them, but that was early days. So nowadays, I just don't really bother unless I see somebody being, it's more about a bad opinion. So like if someone says, you know, stop picking on those two midfielders, they're actually quite good, I'll just stop mid-sentence and go,
which two midfielders you talking about?
McTominay and Fred. Oh, yeah, it's funny. It's McTominay and Fred. I'm not a big fan. So that would just like spark something. I'll go, this will be a good, and I'll just go into that, and you know, sort of that's as big as it gets. But general hate, I just ignore it.
Well, is that partly because, let's be fair, like you and Ben, your age seems to be a big secret in the world, doesn't it? But
late
you and
30s, we're in our 30s.
Yeah, in your 30s. Are we, Mark? But I think there's a big thing about with YouTubers, and you look at it, it's a young person's world for a large part of the time. So actually, with the hate and stuff, I guess being that little bit older, do you think you're better equipped to deal with it than some of the young lads and young ladies that are in the world?
Yeah, definitely within the space. You know, I think that's one of the things I've sort of realised over the last year, which I never thought. I mean, I've done jobs in the past where I've been promoted and you train people, etc. But I suppose I've done this for 6 years. Sort of came into it when it wasn't what it was like now. No one was doing watch-alongs, no one was really doing live content. So I've been through all the pitfalls, and especially in relation to social media, I will sometimes message people, you know, sometimes bigger than me, and I'll say like, why are you reacting to that? You know, what is it bringing to your life to react to somebody like that? You're giving them what they want, and they're irrelevant. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's very rare for me to react to anything really, really bad. You know, even stuff in the past, I've seen somebody like say stuff about my kids and stuff, and I'll quote tweet it and say it's this disgusting. Loads of people will reply and go, yeah, it is disgusting. Then I'll delete it and go, well, you
validated them, haven't you?
I validated them, and actually, oh wow, you know, people kill people. You know, there's horrible things going on in the world.
It's hard not to react. Yeah, there is. I get that, but at the same point, it's really personal. You kind of think, how dare you? Like, it does strike.
I don't think it is hard to react. I would never ever react. I'm the same as you. I always just think the second you react or respond or reply, no matter what it is, right? They've basically won. No matter what it is, even if you shut them down with the best like comeback you've ever seen in your life, all they want is just something, like whether it's good, bad or indifferent. They just want a response. They want a reply where they can go, oh my God, he actually replied to this, look, and then he'll be like screenshotting it, send it around his group chat of his mates. I've got under his skin, blah blah blah. Because at the end of the day, if you're responding, you've seen it, and they've won. They've literally won. So I'm with you, Matt. I will never ever reply to anything. I even say to these, like this, we obviously have Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and you will get shit. There's always going to be shit, no matter what it is. If if I do a vlog on a Saturday and I've played semi-poorly, like one of the goals or something might be my fault, straight away it'll be, you shouldn't be doing these vlogs, you need to focus on football, and you get so much of it, mate. It's a joke, but you'll never ever get away from that. Which social media platform do you think's the worst? Which one do you think breeds the worst, vile everything?
Definitely Twitter.
Yes, definitely
you can
Twitter.
Control YouTube though.
Yeah.
You do a live stream on YouTube, or you know, you can delete it. Instagram, you can delete it and you can edit. Twitter, you can't edit your tweets once they're gone. You know.
No, you can't, can you?
No,
you can't delete somebody underneath you.
You can't delete tweets either, can you?
You can block them though.
No. If Twitter had the ability to delete knobheads from below your tweets, which you should have, because you can do that on Instagram, I think it'd be a lot better. But Twitter is the cesspool of social media. I love it because it's brilliant. I started on Twitter, really. Twitter and YouTube, they were the first two we ever did. But it is the Wild West as well.
Have you got a decent list of blocked people on Twitter?
I probably do, yeah. To be honest, I won't block someone for banter. You know, if someone gives me a bit, I'll often laugh, even though I'm being
constructive
ridiculed.
banter's decent. You'll take that.
Yeah, you know, and if it's a City fan, you know, go, oh, that Goldbridge is getting on my bloody tits. You know, this, that, and the other. I don't. Some people will block just because they've lost an argument. I'm not like that. It's just, you know, if it's abuse, then bye. But that used to be a badge of honour. I don't know whether it still is now.
What if you?
So if you block someone, they will then tweet out,
they've won
by Goldbridge, and people will go win, you know, and all this. It's like, well, is it a win? I don't really get that, you know.
I don't think I've ever thought about it, but like you say, I didn't really know though that you could just not delete? Like, why wouldn't you be able to delete tweets from people and stuff like that? Do you know what I mean? If somebody's getting in the thing and saying some of the worst stuff ever, it's a no-brainer. Just delete the frigging thing.
You block them and then they can't reply to your tweets anymore, but they've still...
Can they then see them? They can't see them either in the future.
No. But they'll all have burner accounts and stuff, won't they?
I'm all over it. Okay, can we just talk about... I'm really intrigued by the team behind the United Stand, okay? At this moment in time, how many people does the United Stand employ? So you've got how many subscribers? 1.1 to 1.2?
Yeah, 1.1, yeah. So 1.1. I'd say there's probably 6.
Really?
6. And then there's quite a few who just do sort of contractor stuff for us.
Freelancer kind of thing. Turn up and do it in bits and bobs.
We're probably just about into sort of 10 to 15 people.
Wow. Because you're busy though. You don't. Yeah. It's not once a week, is it?
No. I know there's some people out there who are sort of like, a couple of days a week sort of thing, but we're 3 shows a day, 7 days a week.
Wow, that's insane.
And you prop that all up yourself? You're the front of it?
Well, yeah, I started it. I think we were talking off air, weren't we, that, I would like to develop it, and I think that would mean less of me in front of the camera, but because it is very demanding. Like if you want to go on holiday and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to have it all in place.
I used to just sit there. I mean, there's a guy, this pineapple guy who attacked me on a Mallorcan beach.
Have you heard this story?
No, I haven't.
I literally just listened to it then. It's incredible.
I used to just be in Mallorca. I'd take the kids down to the beach and I'd sit there with a camera like 10 metres out from the beach, watching them in that, like looking over my camera, giving the morning update. And then again, the same on the evening, So I enjoyed it. But
so what's the moral of the story in Mallorca?
Don't buy fruit in Mallorca, innit?
You haven't got a clue what we're talking about.
People thought that was staged. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. We were nowhere near this big, and this guy comes up and says, you're on the beach and they want to sell you some fruit.
Yeah.
I was live streaming. He wouldn't have had a clue. He probably thought I was filming people out in the bikinis. God knows what he thought. But he just wouldn't. He just wouldn't start. I said, I don't want any fruit. I don't want any pineapple. And then he starts bloody swearing. And he's got this knife, I was just like.
But so
you've got to see it to
you do have to see it. So Mark's obviously very a witty guy anyway, and he's got some belting one-liners. I guaranteed you've heard them all anyway. But he because I think he was so flustered in that moment, like of this dickhead just pestering him. All he could say was, "Don't buy fruit in Mallorca."
Yeah, it was a flustered reply.
Oh God. Do you listen to TalkSport?
No, not really anymore. I used to, and I suppose that's an indication of where I think TalkSport's gone. Really, I call it talk shit.
Okay.
I do. I like the concept.
Yeah.
I just think what frustrates me is, and it's a bit hypocritical because I know we get clipped up, but we're not doing this show to get clipped up. We've not had a chat about let's say Messi's worse than Nathan Redmond.
Yeah.
Like when that, and that's what I think TalkSport's become. Let's wheel out an ex-pro and get him to say that Bruno's a load of crap.
So you think every kind of thing that they want to talk about, they've already pre-planned it.
100%.
You take this side, I'll take that side. You say this, you say that, and then we can go from there, and we'll just stir the pot up a bit.
I presume you've been in that situation. I've been on Sky. It's very scripted. I presume Match of the Day is very scripted, and I think TalkSport
I've never done
scripted.
it. I've been into TalkSport, but I don't. There was never any kind of like scripted and stuff.
You've done
I went in and did it once.
Like literally bowled up into the pub, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did the pub. Yeah, I actually went in the studio once as well, but I've never done Sky Sports, and I don't know if I would want to do Sky Sports. To be honest, don't
go wrong.
Wait
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it is a long way, and it's a very long day, and all that kind of stuff, and you can do whatever you want. But is that something? Could you see yourself doing something like that in the future?
I think I could do it. I mean, I think you two could do it. We're sort of having a chat now, aren't we? It's only having a camera and then being on radio, isn't it? So I could definitely do it, but I wouldn't want to do it in that way where I don't like being produced.
Yeah.
I don't like people. I've been on shows on YouTube where people are in your ear saying we're going to talk about this next, and they're good shows, but I don't like that because what they're thinking about is, can you get Mark to talk about this? Because they know in the week they can then clip up a 10-minute section where Mark's going to talk about what he thinks about Sancho. And I would rather, if we talk an hour, you're going to get much better, authentic. If you're good at what you do, like you guys are, you're going to get much better, authentic chat by researching yourself as a presenter and then, having a rapport with your guest, aren't you?
You are. And I think a lot of people, it's the obviously logical step for people to mainstream media. It could be Sky, BT, Amazon, or whatever it may be. what I find really interesting is the crossover. So you've got a lot of the young lads like popping up now. So Pi, Thogden, seen Spencer all on Saturday Social.
Not me.
Not well. Yeah. Well,
why haven't we seen you on there? Have you been asked? You've not been asked at all. Really?
I don't think it is an age thing. I think it's probably. I think Thogden and Pi, they're nice, and Spencer's very nice. You know, then I think I'm probably too.
Worry you say something
honest.
That's not applicable for 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Well, not even that. I just think they probably don't like what we do because they didn't do it first, and it's honest and real, isn't it? I mean, I don't do a watch along for 3 hours. I've got no idea what I'm going to talk about. You know, I'm watching football. It's the greatest game in the world. It's going to provide millions of different avenues to go down.
I think your views speak for themselves, though. So there's a market for it, isn't there? There's not even just a market. There's a huge market for it. Like I heard you say, there was something I heard you say the other day about some of the views you get on like an England game, for example. That's bigger than like a daytime TV show on like ITV or BBC or something like that.
Look at yours. We were just talking about that, and I've seen some of the videos. Obviously, if you're hitting 800,000, 1 million views, that is more than probably every domestic broadcaster between 9 and 11 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
You know, and that's what it is. It's people are watching like the BBC or Sky. What people are not advertisers and brands are not realising is that we are smashing it collectively, and that's not why we're doing it. But yet they're still going mainstream to have their advert in between a news show that nobody's bloody watching. Well, why would you not, get in contact with the Fozcast or United Stand or something like that? Because they're still not caught up.
I don't think they don't understand it. That is their world.
Yeah.
But they don't fully understand it.
Yeah,
I think there's a bit of snobbery. I do. I think there's a bit of snobbery about it as well.
A bit more than a bit, mate.
Yeah, there is. It's like that. I like for you, for example. I don't think you would get the recognition that you deserve. I don't know if you feel like that, but that's how from the outside looking in, I would think that you don't get the recognition you deserve because people think, well, who is he? Has he played the game? What's he done? Has he ever managed, coached? Has he ever done anything like that?
As well, though. It's the mainstream media journalists. We were in a United press conference a couple of years ago, and one of the main journalists in there was like ridiculed us in the paper because somebody had asked Ollie a question, how do you think we're doing? And it was like, you don't say we, but we're United. We're United Stand. We're United fans. And this is the thing: journalists who follow United, they ain't United fans. They've just got the dream ticket, big job because Manchester United are it. They're not necessarily United fans, and that's why you get stupid questions like, Ollie, what do you think about the Ryder Cup? When we've just lost the game to young boys, and you might want to talk about what he's doing in the midfield and stuff like that. But
this is the beauty of having your own channel, I think, and if a lot
platform, it's not your own channel, it's your own platform as well, isn't it?
It's your own network,
isn't
it? Having your own platform, your network, you've had a taste. Well, you've had a taste of this. You've been doing it for 6 years, and you say what you want, you do what you want when you want. Obviously, you've got fixtures, and then if you slide back into that and you go, got to be there 3 hours before for 20 minutes work. They want you to dress a certain way. It's not that appealing, I can imagine.
No. And that's the thing. I don't have any resentment towards the talk sports and everything like that. And if they asked me to do something and it appealed, I would do it. That's like, doing this or doing the happy hour or, if it's something I want to do, I'm there. I'll go and do it.
And the beauty of it is, Mark, is we were talking just before we came in and we were saying like, the beauty of meeting so many people and yourselves and all the other creators that you've done videos with and that we've had on the podcast, you start building that network and saying, let's do more together.
This face-to-face. I love this face-to-face.
And you can't get that on a Zoom, but also you then start saying, well, okay, well, you've got a TV network. Well, actually, there's 6-7 of you creators. Let's get together and do something. It
could be
go-karting, yeah.
Foot golf. I really wanted to do that for the Ryder Cup.
See, Spencer's done it. Got massive views.
Foot golf would be belting. The Sidemen did one, to be fair. They did a foot golf one as well. That would be good, though.
Done everything.
They've done. They can do everything.
Poundland Sidemen.
Yeah, but sod it. Like, we just have a laugh. Like, people want to see just normal folk having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? I don't care what you've done in your life. If you're a normal guy and you're able to have a laugh and a joke at yourself, don't take yourself too seriously. You've got a chance, haven't you?
Yeah.
I want to just talk about a few of your competitors in your arena.
Yeah.
So we're talking the Kickoff.
Yeah.
The Kickoff and Arsenal Fan TV in particular. So let's just talk about views. Who gets the most views out of you lot?
Well, it probably matters. I mean, I know those people and it probably matters to them more than it does to me because we get a lot of views, but And I want us to be the best, but I'm not obsessed about that. But I'd say AFTV do well because after every game they'll go and stick a camera in someone's face, and they do it about 30. So that's a lot.
You mean outside the stadium they'll stick the camera?
We never would do that.
Have you ever thought about doing that?
No, we have done it, but I wouldn't put 20 fan cams up.
Yeah,
getting various different strands of Arteta's crap. Just to get views. I think I hate it. I hate it, to be honest. And then the kickoff's very good, but I think we get more views than them. So yeah.
So it's you guys.
I'd say. Yeah, just about.
Yeah,
just about. I mean, we could beat all of them if we wanted to by just churning out a certain type of content, but authentic content, I think we're just about on top. But a lot of that's because it's United.
What about the planning of when with the watch-alongs? I'm guessing you don't need. You go on and obviously don't have a script, but I'm guessing you don't need to plan that much because you're so close to Man United in terms of the players, you watch so much of them, you know how they set up the formation, etc. So do you kind of on a match day when you do a watch along, do you just turn up?
Well, yeah, I mean it's obviously all in my house set up anyway, so I just go into the dining room and just
green screen on.
Yeah. But the people behind it, I've got like people like Ryan and Drawty and Matt who will have set up all the overlays and everything like that. There's a team on the screen and there's animation background and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, look, I think with anything like this, it's like that line, isn't it? With great power becomes great responsibility. It's not for everybody because sitting in front of 10,000 people for 3 hours, you could get political. You could say something really.
You could go anywhere.
There's loads of places you can do. So I think when you talk about what we do, journalists, mainstream media, what they also don't realise is people who are doing it are very intelligent.
Yeah.
They might not have an A level in this, that, and the other, but they're very intelligent. One, to be able to hold an audience, but two, to be able to, control their mind enough to be entertaining, but not cross a line and put yourself into trouble. Because we've seen plenty of people who've done that, haven't we? So I think it's a real skill set that people.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the thing about you that strikes me is you are a very intelligent guy. I'm not talking about like absolute genius, like going to uni.
I'm not academic.
It's not about that, but I think you are a very good people person. You're smart. You've got street smarts. You understand. You know how to talk and how to gauge the room as well. Because I think that's a good thing to be able to do. Yeah. But that's always been the thing for me, that to sit there and talk for 3 hours, regardless of what it's about, it's a hard work, isn't it? That is an absolute mission. Yeah. I want to talk about, so Arsenal Fan TV. So I don't know when it was. I think it was maybe last year when they were, like I'd say probably the end of the first half of the season, they were having a bad time, Arsenal. Yeah. They were getting pumped like week in, week out. And Arsenal Fan TV, my God, they were getting views right, left and centre because the team were doing bad. Arsenal Fan TV had something to talk about and they were jumping all over the room. They were going crazy, all this kind of stuff. Do you think Arsenal Fan TV would have got into some of the Arsenal players' heads? Individual players?
Yeah, I do, because I think, I used to have quite a good relationship. I mean, I still do have a good relationship with some of the guys on there. I hate United Stan being called the United version of Arsenal Fan TV because I think their approach is very different to ours. They wouldn't do what we do and I wouldn't do what they do because I think it is too... I find it too similar. It's very stereotypical. You have a bad result, get rid of the manager. You have one good result, you're going to win the league. But I know they have relationship with the players. Some of them, they've got that big that they have a relationship with the players. And I've always called that out because if you were Man United goalkeeper and you had a bad game, do I go, oh, it's Ben?
Give him a wide berth.
7 out of 10. What are you on about? It was a 4. I think you've got to be authentic. And it's like, I think they probably gave easy rides to certain players like Aubameyang.
The ones that they know.
Even though he was absolutely dreadful last year.
Yeah. Do you know, I think one thing I've always thought is they give the English players a bit more of an easy ride as well. They had always...
media in general.
I think they do. They let them off a little bit more. Like you look at the younger players that they've got playing now, they will look after them a bit more. Like even the Ben White, Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, all these kind of players. I bet Aaron Ramsey back in the day, all those kind of players, they would have looked after them a bit more. But they always seem to come for like the likes of like Koscielny or Özil, Bellerin. They would always go after them because, like you say though, probably they don't have a relationship with them to start with. But I guarantee you, every one of the Arsenal players will know about Arsenal Fan TV and they know exactly what it is, and they know that if they have a really bad game or a really bad performance, it's like gold for the fans and they can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, 100%.
How many players would tune into that, Ben? So look at the clubs you've played at and go, what percentage of the players will be actively looking online for feedback?
It's not like they're going to be joining on live and watching it or stuff like that.
I'm saying it's general media.
I would say huge percentage of it. I would say
80, 90?
80, 90% at least will be looking and seeing what people have said about it. And we spoke about it literally about 10 minutes before the show started, Mark, didn't we?
You used to.
For sure, same sort of thing. I would seek validation from these people that do not know me or shouldn't know me or will never know me, but I will seek some sort of, like, just a little bit of something. Do you know what I mean? So if I've had a good game, I'd want to go on and say, oh, they're saying I did well, and it's like, oh, buzzing. But then if they've done bad, I just want to see to what extent. Do you know what I mean? It's horrible.
They deny it, don't they?
Yeah.
They deny they do it, which I find quite funny, because it's like when I wake up in the morning, I'm straight on my phone and I have a busy day.
Yeah.
Footballers have a lot of downtime, don't they? And they're all younger than me.
That's it.
So they're even more social media savvy. So I'm meant to believe that you're not looking at these massive fan channels as well, because mainstream media can be quite scripted, as they know. So I'd be surprised. I know they watch it, but you can't be so arrogant to say that.
Any footballers in the DMs?
Yeah. I mean, mainly not.
You don't need to name any names, honestly.
But we want you to.
Well, I mean, I don't know whether you'll mind. Dwight McNeil, Burnley.
Yeah.
I bought him on my career mode, and he messaged me. I think I followed him, and then he messaged me. Just to say likes the content, and
that's nice.
Like that.
That's nice,
Been blocked by a few as well. Not going to name.
I can imagine you have, yeah. But this is, I think, like I said, I think this world that we're in now, like the YouTube world especially, football, all footballers watch it. Literally, all footballers watch it. So I guarantee you, every single one of the United players will know who you are. They will, not even just Man United players. Maybe I don't know about Ronaldo or Bruno, maybe, but maybe, I don't know. You never know. It wouldn't surprise. It would not surprise, honestly.
I think that you've played with a lot of these lads. Well, your time with England, you played with the big boys, and we know that people like Harry Kane watch the Cycling GK.
The channel, yeah.
It's no different with you,
I'd be surprised.
But
Mate, can I tell a quick story? We played Newcastle on Saturday, right? Matty Longstaff scored this goal past me. I should have saved it. I'm fuming, right? I definitely should have saved it. At full time, right? I'm just going around saying, well done to everybody, well done. And he's gone, I looked at him, I went, you big twat, or something like that, as in like, I'm fuming. I was only joking, obviously, but he just started laughing, and he went, you not got the GoPro in the goal. I need to see that angle of it from the GoPro. So this is what I'm talking about. They do, for sure. Like, it's that age where, like, they've all grown up on YouTube now, so everybody is watching it. I guarantee you, like, you are much more well known than what you think. And I think, can I just take that a step further as well? Like, when you're just going about your normal life, how well known are you now?
I think one of the big things was, I used to I go down London and hang around, like, you go and do and film something, you go and get a coffee, and we were a bit smaller then, and the person you were going for a coffee with, everyone were like, can I have a photo? Then we had COVID, and that was quite a long period of time where we grew.
Oh, what was that? Did you grow? Did you really?
We hit 1 million on COVID, or just after COVID.
So what sort of content were you putting out through COVID?
Well, it's the same, really. I mean, because I kept doing my FIFA thing, which was very popular, because obviously no one had anything to do. I mean, I was like on season 3 of a FIFA career mode with Man United, and we were in a Europa League final. We had like 14,000 people watching on YouTube. I was like, people are really depressed.
Wow.
They must be bored.
They must be bored. But yeah, we grew so big over that when I came out of COVID, there was suddenly, like, it was a bit different. It was like you get a little bit noticed to quite a lot noticed. It's like wherever you go. So, but I don't like that. I mean, I don't like that. That's not why I did it. And
you don't strike me as someone that would, because some people like
search
it, revel in it.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd search it out, would you?
But I think it's the same with what we were saying about the hate thing. It took me time to get used to that, and now I'm used to it. I'm like, well, praise is fantastic, and your community who watch your videos, and I couldn't do what I do without the live chat, because I would lose probably 60-70% of my ideas. But on the other hand, I've done jobs with nothing. And that maybe in 5 years, that's what I will be doing. So I do appreciate people asking for photos, and I always do it. But I do feel a bit awkward with it as well, because it's just like, it wasn't why I started doing it. So
here's one for you, Mark. I'm going to ask this question, drop the mic gracefully and walk away. Because if Ben was a United player doing what he does, how would you feel about that?
What, like he's playing for Man United
now,
and he's
playing for Man
doing
United.
a podcast?
I'm in the starting 11.
GoPro in the goal, and he's vlogging. He's doing exactly what he's doing. How would you feel about that if he was a United player?
If I'm sat here right now, I'm very happy. If I'm on his podcast, but I would be.
If Scott McTominay is doing it, what Ben does now.
Oh wow, pelters! He's getting.
I was just about to say, it depends how good the player is, isn't it?
Okay.
For me personally, if it was somebody like, I mean, so again, it's difficult to imagine a foreign player doing it. So if it was Luke Shaw, who I do like, and he was doing it, I'd probably quite like it. I'd be critical of it because I'd be like, maybe you shouldn't have said that, maybe you shouldn't have done that. But everyone says that about me, everyone says that about you now. So I don't think it's a bad thing. But I think when, it's the old Jesse Lingard thing, isn't it? I think Jesse went too social media savvy, and his ability didn't match it. And I think he's reined it in, and his ability is better now. But nobody wants to see a footballer who's more social media than ability. I think if you've got the ability to match it, then it works.
I think it's similar to like Pogba, isn't it? Like Pogba put his new haircut out the other day, didn't he? Like yesterday.
He get a lot of hate for it.
But oh my God, like it's incredible. Like
his haircut? Or?
Yeah, he's put his haircut out, but they don't. It's not now they want to talk about his haircut. They just want to call him a CUNT or something. It's mad.
I really like it.
It's so mad.
I never have that, but I actually quite like all people in our. We've got like WhatsApp groups. I'm sure you have, and they've like, have you seen Pogba's hair? And most people are like, all right. And I looked at it and went, it's quite like that. Normally it's he's got like the is it braids or whatever,
yeah.
He's coloured it. I quite like it.
No, okay.
But he gets a lot. You're going to get hate, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
Always will.
And then mainstream TV, because obviously you're so close to Man United, and it's massive for you. What out of the like Sky, BT presenters, because obviously they cover most clubs.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at certain commentators or pundits and think, do you know what? He really, really does know what he's on about, because you're so close to United. Are there any in particular that you think, yeah, he's spot on? Or the other way?
You know what? I do like Gary Neville, but I think he does make a lot of, like, he came out with his best United 11 the other day, and I just ridiculed it on a United stand.
What was it? Go on.
Well, he had a front three of Cavani, Greenwood and Ronaldo, and I was like, Gary, what are you talking? Where's the chance? So Bruno's got to create for three people. You've got to have a Sancho and maybe a Rashford for a Ronaldo. I was like, that's a bit disappointing from somebody who's an ex-player and pundit, but maybe coaching isn't for you, because you've just gone with a front three that's not. Where's the creativity?
I thought he was going to bring his Valencia career up there.
Well, I could have done. Yeah.
Well, was he in the England setup as a coach when you were in England?
He was brilliant. He was absolutely. But that's a different role, isn't it? It's a different role from being a manager to being a coach.
What kind of role was he doing?
He was kind of, he would be first team coach kind of thing alongside Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson likes to take all the training sessions anyway, so he would actually take the training session. I think Ray Lewington was his assistant manager. But I've got to say, from my dealings with Gary Neville, what a guy. He is the most driven, professional, just proper, just did everything proper all the time. Right, you could always hear his voice. He was always talking and always shouting and always moaning, and just, he would always be that guy, but he just kept his standards so high, and I always used to basically look up to him a little bit, basically thinking he's the man.
You know why he's my favourite? Is because actually he fits with what I believe, that it doesn't matter whether you're a fan, a footballer, mainstream media or anything like that, you're going to get it wrong.
Yeah.
And I can't be bothered with people who say, oh, Goldbridge has got no football knowledge. Because, of course, when Liverpool bought Van Dijk, I went, they've spent £75 million on a Dutch Chris Smalling. And the tweet's still there. I don't think I've deleted it. Because I'm like, well, of course you're going to get stuff wrong. That's the whole point. I love it. So, yeah, I think Gary Neville's very good. I like Carragher and Neville.
Yeah, they're good,
work really
they?
well together. And again, I think Carragher said last summer, you can't pay Pogba and Bruno together. And I was like, I'll jump on that straight away. So, I don't know how they receive it, but if you're getting called out, it's not because you don't like them. It's because, like, this person said this. What do you think about that?
I think they just own it. They own it better than most, don't they? Even if they put their foot in the mouth and like make a horrendous mistake or bad prediction or something, they'll own it, and it is what it is. Like I say, they've been there, seen it, done it. They can basically say and do what they want because they've had a bit of experience of doing it at least anyway. But I love the way that they don't give a shit either way. They'll just, it is what it is, for God's sake, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about driving with Goldbridge.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this. And I would love to come on again, another one. It sounds like I just want to do stuff with you all the time, but I would absolutely buzz off coming to do one.
Explain what it is, Mark.
So basically, again, I've got my own channel, and I used to do like cooking with Goldbridge and driving with Goldbridge, which was basically putting content out during COVID.
Cooking with Goldbridge. I've never heard of this one. Come on.
It's like on the same channel. So basically, I just set a camera up in my kitchen, which is quite, it's not a massive house or anything like that, but it's quite good to put a camera on the breakfast bar and then you've got the whole kitchen behind you. So I just did like Goldbridge cooks, fish and chips.
I think that was probably in the outhouse though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wish. But I mean, it's very basic, but people quite enjoyed it. So then I was like, I'm just going to stick a GoPro on my dashboard and drive. Because I used to do these videos where it was like a bit like a podcast. I'd just sit there with a few topics and talk to camera, because you couldn't get guests at that time unless you did Zoom. So then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to drive around in my car around the area. It's quite nice for 40 minutes and put a GoPro on me and just drive and chat. And people liked it.
It is nice though. It is.
Yeah,
it's
I really
like
enjoy it.
calming. I think that's the thing about it. It's always, the chat's just dead easy and chilled, but it's nice and calming as well. Like, you always talk about some random crap, but that's what people want to see. I love it, honestly. It's absolutely wicked. And if I can comment, mate, please.
No, definitely. And then I just said to my agent, he was like, you know, we're doing this stuff with Wash and Go. They want some ideas. And I said, well, why don't we just get my car, get guests in it and drive around and have a chat? And I said, I know bloody James Corden's done it and this, that and the other, but I ain't going to sing a song. And it doesn't matter whether 10 people have done it. They're not going to do it the way we do it. And people will either like it or they won't.
It's not Mark Goldbridge, is it?
So we've had a few. We've had Pie Face on. Jack Mate's been on. We've got a couple more coming up.
Tell me about the one I saw a picture of the other day, the ex-Man United player that you had on.
Paul Ince.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Paul Ince?
No, never met Paul Ince.
To be honest, I've met a few footballers who are, you know, unreliable.
Hey,
that kills me.
That cuts him deep. That
really does. That, like, I pride myself on my reliability.
He didn't have a drug test. He was just hungover, Mark.
I do. I pride myself on it, Mark.
I mean, I think everybody knows Ben's a nice guy, but there are footballers out there that are, you know, I understand. I wanted to be a professional footballer, and I knew good footballers, and some, you know, especially the modern day footballer. You live in a bubble, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you've been training at Blues and then you've got a job behind a bar, or you're at uni. You go into a bubble and you've got people telling you how great you are, so they don't all necessarily have the best skills in relation to dealing with the public. But no, Paul Ince was sound, absolutely sound, one of the nicest guys I've met, and that led to him doing stuff on the United stand as well. So,
nice.
Yeah, so we've done a Driving with Goldbridge with him, and also he comes from an era that for me was just sort of my era growing up.
Same.
Euro '96, that United team of the early '90s.
The governor, what a player,
and what a team. So it's got a lot of stories, and
that was a classic team, wasn't it? Like Kinchelsky, Giggsy, Lee Sharp, and like Hughesy, Brian McClellan. They were what a team.
Legends, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, they would have won. The only thing they didn't do that the 08 team and 99 team did was they didn't win a European Cup. But they couldn't win a European Cup because they used to have to put Gary Walsh in goal and sometimes bench Giggs because they could only have 3 foreigner rule.
Yeah, of course.
So it was right. Ince was on about that. He was like, we would have won it, but we couldn't win it. It was impossible because we had to play so many English players, and obviously we had like people like Mark Hughes who were classed as a foreigner because he was Welsh, and Ryan Giggs was, and Brian McClare was, and obviously Eric
you forget
Cantona.
about all that kind of stuff. So that back then was basically the modern day version of you've got to have some homegrown. It's literally flipped on its head, where you used to only be allowed 3 foreigners. Now you have to have 6 or 7 homegrown players or something like that.
It is an absolute dream for aging English goalkeepers.
Exactly. There's a market for it, mate. There's a market for it, especially if you've got a GoPro.
What's his name? Scott Carson.
Oh, mate, brilliant.
He disappeared about 10 years ago, but I'm sure he's probably Man City.
Do you know what? I heard a story about this the other week, right? So we've got some friends up in Manchester, and every time we go up there, we'll go over to the cricket club over the road, we'll have a few beers and stuff like that. And one of their nutritionists was actually there, and I was just chatting to him, like, when you're back in pre-season training, all this kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. And anyway, we got onto Scott Carson, because obviously I know Scott from being with England and stuff. Wicked lad, honestly. He's just like us, like normal bloke, don't care, no airs or graces, whatever. And I said, how's he getting on? He went, oh, mate, he's amazing. Like, he's like the man. Like, everybody loves him so much. And he said, basically, he says, the reason why he's been at Man City so long is, 1, he's still obviously a very good goalkeeper, but 2, him and Edison, they've got this, like, the best bromance you've ever seen in your life, right? And he's like the glue. Edison just sticks next to him all day. He sticks next to Edison. He just basically gets behind him, claps him every day, says, you're amazing, and look what he does on the pitch. So I think they'll just keep him going until Edison wants to leave or something. But I love that. How good is that? How cool is that? He's getting contracts based off the fact he's just a wicked bloke, and I think that's incredible.
Don't want to go and play first team football for Rochdale then, you know?
Nah, sod that. Imagine that you go into the Man City changing room, like the top of everything all day, every day, or you could go and slog it out in League 1 or 2. No thanks. I know which I'd rather do anyway. But yeah, I agree. There is a market for it. There's definitely a market for an aging goalkeeper.
Definitely. So we've got driving with Goldbridge. You get a lot of compliments on your driving, actually, don't you?
Yeah, everyone keeps
Is that
saying
because of your police background? Or?
Well, I just think they obviously have crap drivers because, I'm a bit of a one-hand driver.
Okay.
And people moan about that. I've always been a bit of a one-hand driver. But I don't know. I mean, I'm always, I don't know, I'm quite happy. I'll probably win at the go-karting when we do that. But
okay.
You've been getting in the comments of driving with Goldbridge and looking what they're saying. You weirdo.
No, the guests.
No, the guests.
Oh, right, okay.
They always, I don't know what they're expecting. I think they thought I might be a boy racer.
I hope they don't do a driving with Foster because you'll be banned.
I don't know.
You do a lot of driving, don't you?
I do a lot of driving.
Fast driving as well.
But no, I don't. I stick to the speed limit, sort of. But I do. I drive.
Load of bollocks.
I live in the Midlands. I play for Watford, obviously, but I live in the Midlands, so I drive there and back every single day. It's 100 miles there, it's 100 miles back. But it's fine. It's not a problem. I like that bit of peace and quiet. It's an hour and a half to myself. I can sit there and think about things. I can listen to podcasts like I was listening to yours and Jack Mates earlier. Nice bit of me time.
Yeah, I hear you. I did watch it, and I did see a little bit of shuffling on the back seat, and I was like, "There's someone there with a black coat on."
We don't acknowledge it, but yeah, there was. We fixed it on the last two actually because obviously I'm not into all that. We had a production team, and they were like, "We really need the sound guy in the car," and we're like, "We're not just having him sat in the back." So we said, you can lie on the back seat with a blanket over you, but we've sorted it now where it's done remote now. But yeah, there was a guy, and obviously all the comments were always commenting on it. But the next two episodes, you won't see anyone in the back apart from Thogdad.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, so Thogden got the
front seat.
Well, I wanted Thogdad in the front. Yeah. Thogdad was like, I'm going in the back. I even had a little bag of sweets to throw to Thogden. So that joke.
Here you go, son.
Yeah.
Have one of them. Just be quiet, all right? There's a good boy.
He's in the front.
Thogden.
Yeah.
Can we talk YouTube analytics?
Yeah.
Are you into your analytics?
Used to be more into it, but I probably do observe it in a sort of way that's probably still quite deep, to be fair, yeah.
I think everybody does, to be fair. I think everybody who has a YouTube channel, they at least once a day will look at it, right?
I remember like a couple of years ago, I was doing something with one of the Liverpool channels, and one of them said, every day I wake up and I go on to Creative Studio first thing to look at it. And I'm like, yeah.
He does
you
that.
sort of do have a look at that. So maybe not as much as I used to, but yeah, you do.
I think if you've had a video going out, I think you can't help it. You just want to wake up and see it and see that you've had a load of views and all that kind of stuff. It is inevitable, isn't it? Because this is our job sometimes. Like, it's not at the minute, but this is your job. So it's like, that's the bit where you know where you're doing well or not, isn't it?
And I can tell you're a detail guy. You're into detail, right?
Yeah. And with driving with Goldbridge, I'd probably check that one more because I want people to like it, because it's not football. It's sort of like not a vanity project, but it came about because of Wash and Go. So we had a little bit of money, and then we produced it more than we produce anything. So,
but it's a new thing, so you want to.
I like the concept. So
what's your favourite episode so far? Because I saw one with Lawrence McKenna that I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, I have watched them all. I love them. I love watching Pie Face either way, but the Lawrence McKenna one was a funny episode. I don't know what your relationship is with Lawrence McKenna.
I don't know really. But I never get asked on the kickoff anymore. I keep saying to him, I even said it on the thing, don't get asked anymore. We'll see about that then. Come on then.
How has he agreed to come on Driving with Goldbridge then?
No, I've known them. I didn't really have a great relationship with Brian, True Geordie, and Loz at the start, because when we first came into the arena, a lot of the fan channels were sort of owned by different companies, and everyone was in the same boat. So we came in as an outsider, and basically I got into a bit of an argument with some people, and people stuck up for them. So I was just like, F off to everybody, I'll just do it my own way. And then after a couple of years, Brian was like, yeah, you were a bit of a knob a couple of years ago, but do you want to come on the show? And then we met and we got on, and I got on well with Oz. So that from my side, that's always continued. But I'm also aware that obviously they did that video on the Crash Creators, which I did. So I said to Loz, look, we're doing this. Do you want to come on? And he would always say yes, to be fair. So he came on, and I was like, obviously there was a lot of talking off air. I said, we are going to talk about this. And it just went from there. But, to be fair, he faced up to it, and always get a different conversation, and he is who he is. Yeah. I think that's one thing. He is who he is.
I think that was the beauty of that episode. You've got two people who are what they are. Yeah. And I don't think any of you were backing down, and it was just, right, I'm going to tell you what I think. And he was like, no, I'm going to tell you what I think. And I was watching it going, oh my God,
but we do get on. We do get on.
Yeah.
We do.
I think the question of, are you an arsehole, was one of my favourites, because it's like, Yeah, it's very direct. It's very direct. But like you said, you've got, even if you, I'm not saying you don't get on with them, because you do, but even if you don't see eye to eye with someone, you have to respect them because they are who they are. They've got their own opinions and they'll stand by them. So, kudos.
Yeah, but I think we were talking about before, weren't we, as well? It's like, would I want to do a driving with Goldbridge with somebody I knew I was not going to get on with? And you were saying the same with like this podcast. And it's like, actually, in this space, you don't have to.
Yeah.
If you don't think it's going to work, why do it? Because we are it's not like Parkinson now. There's a new book coming out for somebody. They've got to come on your show. Oh, this is going to be difficult. Like we have that freedom, don't we? Where we haven't got producers saying, look, you've got to get such and such on. I
messaged Mark Clattenburg the other day because he's got a book coming out to say, do you want to come on the Fozcast? And he didn't reply to me. He's completely blanked me, the git. But Mark, if you're listening, come on, honestly. I don't think you're Prattenberg. I love you to bits. I think you're a funny one.
Oh, yeah.
But how good would that episode be? Mark Clattenburg.
Yeah, Mark
Clattenburg.
Mark, you're not coming on Driving with Goldbridge. I think you're a brat.
So when you said about not having a producer in a network, when we started the Fozcast, we... like everything that Ben's done, we said we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And actually, we got approached by a couple of kind of big networks saying, "Oh, we'll do it. We'll produce it. We'll edit it. We'll help you with guests. We want 50%."
Yeah.
And like we sit here and we're quite simple guys in the fact, and we're like, well, we've got a studio, we've got Frankie Boy the editor who's brilliant.
Why do you need it?
Why do we need it?
Yeah, and we've got contacts in the game, and like you say, I think that's the beauty of what we do as well. Is the more you meet people, the more you build relationships, and then you meet him from him, you meet him from him. I did that Theo Baker thing the other day. First time I did that. Met Cal Freezy afterwards. All that, honestly, but everybody's just golden. Like you meet them, and you're like, actually, you're just a bit like me. To be perfectly honest with you, it's nice, isn't it?
That's what I loved about it. So I spent a little bit of time with Cal while you're in the studio, and you just get chatting to people and actually from that meeting you was with you afterwards and we're like, let's do something. And actually once you see someone and meet someone and you're in front of them in person, it's different. It changes things because it's been difficult with COVID and there's a lot of Zoom things. I know you guys have done something on Zoom, but there's nothing like sitting in front of people, and that's how relationships are built, isn't it? Yeah,
100%. I think you do get to know. I mean, a lot of people speak about people in this industry, and I always say, look, lots of people have said stuff about me, and it's cost us. We've had conversations with brands, and then they'll say something, and you go, well, why are you talking to me about that? You've spoken to someone, haven't you? And they're like, yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay. But you're right. When you get to meet people, they get to know what you are. And I've had so many people say to me, "Oh, you're not what I thought you were going to be." And I'm like, "Yeah, but who told you that?"
Yeah.
And then they'll tell you, and you go, "Well, this is the problem, isn't it?" And I think that there's a lot of genuine people out here, and there are some that aren't. And that's the great thing about not having this COVID world anymore is you can get out and about. I did that Clash Creators, and I met that Morgs.
Yeah.
Who actually asked me for a photo.
Decent.
And I was like, "You're always on my YouTube, not mine, my daughter. Can I have a photo for it back?" And he was, not my cup of tea, not my genre, nothing like that, but a nice guy. And it's like, your perception of that person might be quite different if you hadn't met them.
Do you watch much YouTube?
I don't really. No, honestly, I don't. I mean, I could pretend that I watch every video you do. I don't. I probably watch maybe one a month, but that's honest. There's some stuff that I watch that. The one thing I do watch on YouTube the most was Dr. Robert Campbell about COVID. I don't know why. It's just this doctor who's retired, who'd sit there with a little webcam every night and sort of give an update on all the COVID things and everything like that. I just got addicted to it.
When it was going on? When it first started going on?
I used to watch it every
Most
night.
people were, though.
Because you're getting a proper angle from it. You're not getting spun the bullshit from BBC. You're getting somebody
It was
independently.
basically the equivalent of what we do
Exactly.
for that, but not the BBC. He'd take everything, all the reports, and he'd go, and this is what I think about. I think that is a load of crap, and I think this is good. And I was like, but I've never thought of it like that. And that's exactly what it was. It was just like authentic. And you're in his bedroom, basically, or his spare room or something like that. And it just was quite
that's
familiar.
nice.
It makes you feel part of something.
We had Ben's old doctor at Watford who's involved in an international team as well, and we had him in, and he does similar, and he'll get a big injury. He was a Liverpool lad the other week, Harvey Elliott, and he goes on following Monday, and he'll go, "This is the injury. This is his recovery time." This
Explain it in a layman's term, basically.
What's his name?
Doc in the Arena.
Doc in the Arena, yeah.
Matt Ogunsanya.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sent me a video about...
He sent you a video?
Phil Jones.
Phil Jones.
I mentioned it on a show, and I went and looked at his YouTube channel, and I was thinking about getting him involved, but obviously just there's not, can't come on every week because we don't have anything like that. But we did use what he said in the Phil Jones thing, and he broke it down really well as to why.
Yeah, he's a lovely bloke, and he's so shit smart. It's a joke, honestly. Yeah. You could just listen to him speak. As he was speaking here, I was like thinking, fuck, I've got to ask a question in a minute. Well, I can't think of anything because I'm just listening to it. It's incredible. What a lovely guy. It's a good old shout, isn't it?
I wish I'd had YouTube when I was a lad, actually, because sometimes I'll go on there and you can get lost.
Yeah,
like hours can go by with little 5 and 10 minute videos on everything.
I know.
I like Lord of the Rings, so I'll be like watching videos that somebody's made about the history of the dwarfs. And
Yeah.
But it's brilliant though, because like if you spend 3 hours on TikTok, which is quite easy to do.
Have you got TikTok, Matt?
I have got a TikTok. Yeah. I don't go on TikTok. My daughters go on it, and I'm like, "What? You're wasting your lives." What
exactly that.
But on YouTube, like you pick up so much information, don't you? It's incredible.
I just don't have the time. I don't know what you're like, busy wise.
Busy.
Like, I would watch yours. There's a few other channels I would watch, but you know what? If I get, it's like watching a Netflix thing. It's like I'll be miles behind everybody else because I just won't. There'll be 4 or 5 days.
You're a busy man, Mark.
How busy are you? How busy are you? Because I get the impression that you are. Yeah, you just work like a dog.
Yeah, it is very busy. My downtime is probably now, so sort of 11 till maybe 3 o'clock. But then from 3 o'clock until probably 10 o'clock, it's busy, and then first couple of hours of the day are busy. So.
Wow. And what about like all the running of the business day to day? Is that something you pick up? Commercials, like deals?
No, I've got an agent.
Okay.
Yeah. So
damn, we wanted to sign you.
He's a good guy, Ross, and he's sort of like intertwined with the business as well. He's got quite a lot of experience and stuff. And actually, I think his dad was an agent. In fact, he was on the Premier League. You've been watching that Fever Pitch thing?
No, I know what you mean though. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, his dad was like an agent and was involved in the forming of that. So he's quite good in the.
Can I tell you who I think I was going to say to you earlier? Who I think you remind me of?
Oh yeah.
Can I get it out there and tell everybody who I think Mark Goldbridge reminds me of? And this is the reason why I think I love him so much. Tony Pulis. You remind me of Tony Pulis.
I've never had that.
It's definitely not your looks, all right?
No,
it's definitely not your look. It's your you-ness. I think the way that you, like you say, you basically just say how you see it and you don't really give a shit. And
so you played under him, did you?
I played under him, and I love Tony Pulis. Yeah. He like, I always tell the story to you, don't I, how he will happily put his arm around you and say, you've been shit today, son. You've been fucking shit today.
You want to know where you stand, don't you, with people? And it could be any workplace. If you're second guessing, it's not particularly nice. But if someone goes, that needs to be better, or you were crap, or well done, but you've been great.
He had high standards. He expected X from you, and if you didn't deliver X, it's because you haven't done enough prep or work or whatever. He can understand the lack of technique. He could understand the not going right in the day, but just doing the hard yards.
Yeah, he might not have had that many technical players.
No, we did. We had some 6'5" bloody left back and a 6'5" right back.
Your back four at West Brom were always massive.
We had Craig Dawson at right back, Gareth McCauley centre back, Jonas Olsen at centre back, even Liam Ridgewell was like 6'1" too. Like the biggest team you've ever seen in your life. It was world class. Mark, I did some research earlier, and I love doing this. I do. I like to look at net worth of people.
Wow.
I do. You footballers are all money mad.
I love it. I think it's wicked. So I searched up the good Goldbridge name, and it gave you a net worth of 500k.
All right.
Are you happy with that?
I don't know. What is net worth then? Is that what you've got in the bank?
I think net worth is basically the whole package of everything. Roll it all up.
No, I'm worth way more than that.
Yeah, there we go.
Bloody right as well. You work your tits off, mate. You deserve it as well. Yeah. I've got some built-in fan questions, by the way, because you probably saw my tweet. We're not going to go on to that yet. I want to talk about Clash of Creators. Okay. But I put a tweet out earlier on today asking... Basically, anybody got any questions for Mark Goldbridge, get in now and ask them, and I will read the best ones out. So I have screenshotted about 6 or 7, some pearlers.
We have to change the tweet, though, because last time Ben said, I've got someone in the studio today. We had people outside.
Literally, fans are outside waiting
with
to
Troy,
get
wasn't it?
Yeah, with Troy, yeah. So we can't do that. So I want to talk about Clash of Creators, because I want to do Clash of Creators, and we know, Tom Sharman, the guy who runs it.
Yeah. So tell everyone about Clash of Creators.
So basically, guys, Clash of Creators, for anybody that don't know, is anybody not even, I don't think it's just YouTube, is it? It's literally
creators,
it's
big and
literally
small.
everything. If you're a creator, you could be on TikTok, you could be on whatever it is, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. If you've got a bit of a creative thing about you, you are more than welcome to not just apply, but you might sort of get picked or whatever to come and play in this football tournament called Clash of Creators. And you played in the last Clash of Creators, obviously.
No, commentated.
Commentate, sorry, yeah, and but you've been selected for this season as well. Will we see you with the boots on though?
Oh yeah. I wanted to play the last one, and they couldn't get a commentator, so I said I'll do it as long as I can play in the next one. So
this is where we're at with the YouTube world. Okay, the people that were involved in Clash of Creative, we're talking some of the biggest names in YouTube. Like we're talking people from like Sidemen, like you said earlier, but Morgs, massive names. But I think this is just where the market is going now. So, but this time you're going to be playing as well.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for
I wish
this.
it had been 10 years ago, but so 20 years ago. But you know,
no,
a little indication there.
No, I've heard he's still got a bit. I've heard you're a bit of a player.
Well, I played off the pitch as well, but no, I played with Spencer at Old Trafford a couple of years ago, and I was in the midfield
pulling strings.
So here's a question, and then for those, get in the comments in the video. If Mark Goldbridge was a Prem player, who would he be? Because I'm having him as Roy Keane. No nonsense, middle of the park, putting it about.
The little Marshall, just sort of like telling everybody, pointing everything.
Yeah, you get over there.
He was my role. He was my idol as a
the enforcer. Is that your role on the pitch? Go on, describe yourself as a footballer.
He enforced DT when they played, didn't he?
Yeah, to be honest, I used to play centre back a lot because I was quite tall at 14.
Yeah.
I was as tall as I am now, and then I just stopped growing. So I used to play centre back a lot because I was always quite good at reading the game. So I'd drop, the one centre back who marks, I'd drop and then take the ball off the floor. And then I moved into CDM. So that was pretty much what I did. Yeah.
I could imagine you talking a lot and like say marshalling and all that kind of stuff.
I enjoyed it.
Chirping at the ref.
Yeah, I got sent off once.
Shock.
More than once. Time to F off.
I do look forward, like say, if I can play in one of them soon.
Yeah.
If we're on the same team.
David James was the coach of one of them.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I know.
I want to be player coach, you see, because then I can sub myself off, but then they can't sub me off.
When you get tired, yeah.
If someone subs me off, they'll do it now. They're going to do it now, aren't they? I'll chuck my boots on the floor. And
it's whether I'll get in ahead of Pieface or not. I just don't know if Yashin, he's the man, mate. He's the man.
Great. So let's talk about Man United for a moment then. Actual like current team. Ronaldo coming back. Is he the greatest of all time? Is he the GOAT? Is he GOATed?
I like the Messi Ronaldo debate. I mean, I'm always going to be loyal to Ronaldo because he's United, and I think it's great when you've got one of the greatest ever players. I mean, I mentioned one there, George Best, greatest ever players who play for your club. So I'm always going to be loyal. But I mean, look, we're living a privileged time. Messi's fantastic. I saw that goal against City, and I just think we're blessed to have both of them. I don't like the debate really because I prefer Ronaldo because he ticks more boxes about what I want in my team. But yeah, Messi's probably the better talent. I just think they're both fantastic. And Ronaldo's just special, I think, to United fans.
I'd be the same as you, Mark. That's exactly how I see it. Messi's the better natural player. Ronaldo, for what I would want for somebody in my team, ticks the boxes like you wouldn't believe. And I think it's an absolute frigging signing like you would not believe, just for how it will raise everybody else. Because like, even straight away, you're hearing these stories about them not eating pudding and all that. And I know that's tiny and it's petty and it will make headlines and stuff like that, but that will go on literally every corner of Carrington, no matter what it is, in the gym, in the changing rooms, getting ready for games, on the way to games, all that kind of stuff. Everybody will be sort of watching him thinking, well, what does he do? I want to do that. And like everybody will be on their game a bit more. It's class.
Hasn't it changed from this first time around at United? So first time at United, he was the talent, he was coming up through the ranks and he really took off, was brilliant, and now he's come back as this
polished
figure.
He is,
but he's got this serious aura. He is a presence, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's
they need to harness it really. I just don't know whether they will. He's the leader. He's the one with the experience. That team doesn't have it. You can't be getting in line to Solskjaer and Carrick and be like, just sit in the corner. He's got to be allowed to do that. Whether they'll let him do that, I don't know.
We'll get on to fan questions in a minute. Do you remember the Manchester derby 4-3 to Man United against Man City? Have you seen the goals back on that?
Owen.
Yeah, Owen won it, didn't he?
Okay, so I played in that game.
Rio was shit, wasn't it?
Yes, I loved it.
He got
Well, you were shit as well.
I just remember Rio getting absolutely rinsed by Bellamy, didn't he?
Yeah,
That's
for late
it,
on.
that's
But to
it.
be fair, did you see how the goal went in? It's an absolute shambles, mate. It's like I just forgot to dive or something. It was horrible.
Poor Rio then, because if that had been the United stand, I would have, the first mistake's always the big one, isn't it?
Well, to be fair, I made the first mistake earlier on in the game. To let it was the one where it was on the edge of the box where Carlos Tevez I tried to
Ratted
take it
round,
back
yeah.
in the box. He nicked it off me. I'm sure I had both hands on the ball. Anyway, he took the ball off me, passed it. Gaz Barry put it in the back of the net. Like I say, do you remember me in particular in that game?
No.
Oh, mate, I just wanted you to say, yeah, you were shit. You were absolutely shit. I was
It's better
absolutely
not
shit,
to remember,
be fair.
innit?
No,
Yeah.
it is. You learn from these things, though. These are the beauty of them.
It's
You're
like a referee.
You were
for-
you were unmemorable, Ben.
I think it's a good thing.
I think that's my Man United career in a nutshell, to be
Nah,
perfectly honest.
come
I said
on.
this about McTominay last week, though. I said Fred was crap, McTominay was okay. And people were like, why was he okay? I said, well, I don't remember him doing anything bad.
I will always disagree with this McTominay thing because I think he's a baller, mate.
Yeah, you
I
said
do.
that to me before.
I do,
Loads
honestly.
of people have said it to me.
I think he's a baller. I saw him up close and personal. I know it's only in the FA Cup and we were in the Championship, but he was incredible, mate. He was winning balls in their box. He was winning balls in our box. He was marshalling. I think there's
He's a
something
better
there.
player with him.
Yeah, he does.
It's the combination for me. It's not the individuals.
Yeah,
I think
I totally
Fred's
agree.
a good player in certain areas, but together,
It just
you can't
don't
be
work.
benching Matic and Pogba and Van der Beek for two of those two.
Yeah, I totally
And that's
agree.
why people call him McFred, because they,
Yeah.
they just see them as that.
Duo.
Yeah.
I know, but I think there is a player in there. I really do
Yeah,
think
you're
there's a
not the
player
only
in
one to
there,
say
mate.
that, yeah.
So, going to games. You
Yeah.
don't tend to go to games.
No, well, because of what I do. If I don't do that, then ultimately
Kids go hungry.
No, I could just do a vlog. I could do what Thogden did.
Hey,
I was
come
going
to
to ask
one of
you. I was
ours.
going to
Why
ask
don't
you.
you
What
come
have you
to one
thought
of
about
ours?
matchday vlogs?
I would never be in the crowd. I'd be too, as stupid as it sounds, I'd be too
You'd get
nervous
mobbed-
to
you'd
do
get
that.
mobbed as well.
I wouldn't.
What?
like-
Yeah. What would the reaction be if you turned up and you were in the crowd at Man United?
Oh no, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I think I would.
You'd get a lot of attention, wouldn't you?
You'd get mobbed, though.
I normally used to before COVID. I'd probably go to 3 or 4 a season. I'd get cover, and it would always be a 3 o'clock Saturday game.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
against Norwich or something like that. But I haven't been I haven't been since COVID. And I will go.
Can we get you on for like I said, we did this thing with Jack for the Norwich game where he came with Tom and it was like it's kind of a fan cam kind of thing where I'm obviously playing in the game or whatever, but you will be there just showing a bit of please try and come to a Man United game. I'll sort the tickets out whether it's home or away, whatever it is. That'll be belting, mate.
Yeah,
People would want to see that. That would be class.
Good day out. 'Cause me and Jack, we had a bit of lunch, had a few pints. And
A few pints, boom.
Get loose before filming.
The only thing I wouldn't like to do, and I've always said it, is when you're in the ground and you have the camera on yourself and you're going like this, this and that and the other.
Yeah.
I'd be very self-conscious that I'm annoying the shit out of everybody in front of me, behind me, and everyone else. And a lot of people, Thogden does it, and I said to him the other day, fair play, because as much as I'll do most things, I wouldn't do that.
It takes some self-confidence to hold the camera and look at everybody's looking at you as well.
I hate it. I wouldn't even walk down like Solihull High Street
With your phone out.
with my phone out going, look at me. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I always have to find a quiet space.
All right, Matt, we've got fan questions, okay?
Have you been through them? Because I haven't.
I've been through them.
Good
Don't
man.
worry about it. It's fine. Right. First question from Being Banned. That's a good start. Dream job you would have loved to have had if you're not doing what you're doing.
I'm definitely a professional footballer.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's all I ever wanted to do. So yeah.
Central midfield marshaller.
So I think it's most people's dream, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
You've
so.
done well, Ben.
Yeah, I think so. I have done well, to be fair, because if you'd have said to me early doors when I was frigging 16, 17, you'll be a footballer. Yeah, all right. Do any of the Man United players know of you? We've already spoke about this. We all for sure know that they all know you. What do you think of Burnley? From FPL_MP. A lot of people were saying
Burnley.
these.
I used to want them to get relegated. I couldn't stand them because they always seem to beat me on FIFA. But you know what? It's like a love-hate relationship, and actually, Well, Dwight McNeil plays for them. I think he's a
There
good
you go.
player. I think Sean Dyche is a bit of a legend, really. So I'd hate to see Burnley go down, but there's always a bit of banter there because of the FIFA career mode.
A bit of a pain in the ass, basically. I think they need to be admired a little bit. I think that's the thing about Burnley is they always seem to just come good at the right time.
And they will do again.
Get over the line, as always. But like I say, most of that's down to Sean Dyche for sure. Favourite thing about YouTube?
Revenue.
Freedom to do it. Just the platform to be able to do what we do, really. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic platform where, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done if it wasn't for that. 20 years ago, you wouldn't be able to do this.
No, for sure.
So you'd have to probably go and write crap about gardens or something like that in the hope that you get to write about hockey and then football, and that's why all these journalists can't stand what we do, because they had to do all that, and now you've got
crap.
people doing what we do.
It's great though. It's inspiring though, Mark. What you've done is incredible, and how you've grown it is really admirable. And looking at it, like you said, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, look at our children. Ben and I have Ben's got a teenager, an 11-year-old, 12-year-old. I've got similar age kids myself. And if they said to me, and like my lad will say, I want to either be a zookeeper or a professional gamer, and I'm like, do either.
Mad world.
Because you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's opened up the gateways, hasn't it, to the kids, and say it's not a pipe dream. You can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's my answer, Mike. Mark, that would be my exact answer. Is the freedom of it all. You can just do what you want, put out what you want to do. The biggest friggin' Man United fan channel in the world.
Yeah.
It's not bad, that, mate.
When you think about it.
It's not bad, that, mate.
From
it's
the
not bad.
biggest club in the world, one of top 3, definitely.
Biggest club in the world. It's got to be the biggest club in the world, surely. All right.
How'd you judge it? Yeah.
What 3 things, or what 1 thing, would you do if you were CEO at Man United?
Ooh, that's a good question. See, 3 things. I'll tell you what I would do. I mean, some people would sack Solskjaer and the coaches straight away. I'll tell you what I would do. I'd pull him in the office and I'd give him the right act. I'd say, what's the style of play? What's going on? We're Manchester United and we should be winning. You've had long enough now. I'm giving you till Christmas. I want to see good football, and I want to see the players you've got, you should be challenging for the title. And if you're not, you've had long enough. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Hands on, basically.
Yeah. Which they're not. I'd also renovate Old Trafford. It's well overdue.
Yeah.
And I'd spend more. I wouldn't take money out of the club. I wouldn't take dividends. I'd clear the debt, and I'd put the money into the club, and we'd be in a much better position. So, them the 3.
Goldbridge for CEO.
That's nice, that, mate. I think that's what
a club should be run like.
Yeah, that's a missing quality from, I think, a lot of Premier League clubs, sort of CEOs and the guys in power. I think that's the bit that's missing, is that connection.
Well, the Chelsea guy does it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Might not be the best sort of owner in relation to how he got the club, but he runs it like that.
What was Mark's What was Mark's opinion of Ben when he was at Man United? Leave that. If Mark could be any person in the world, who would it be? Tommy Buckley, 19. If you could be anyone in the world,
I'd do it for a day. I wouldn't change my life because I've got kids and I'm happy with my wife and everything like that. But if I could be anyone for a day, probably Ronaldo on a match day. I'd love to just live that. With
have that ability about yourself.
Not me in Ronaldo's bodyguard. God, that would be horrible. But no, actually, Ronaldo's ability for a day, for a match day, would
just
be
to
great.
think at any moment you've got the ability to just go and do something.
Yeah,
that would be special.
Coming out at your debut was Derby away.
Yeah, Derby away. Yeah.
When you first played at Old Trafford for Man United, because I think like the ability and stuff, but for me it would be Premier League game or Champions League game. Walking out at Old Trafford for the very first time with 70, 80,000 fans. What was that like?
I shit myself.
Did you honestly?
I was 24 years old. I was not ready to be at Man United at that time in my life. I was nowhere near ready.
What about the occasion? So it was just you were scared.
I was shitting myself. It wasn't a thought of, I'm going to have a wicked game today. I'm going to be amazing. I'm going to save my team. It was just get through the game, don't make a mistake. And that's the worst thing you can do. Like, no matter what it is that you are doing in life, whether you are a footballer or you're a frigging businessman, no matter what it is, if your overriding thought is just get through it and don't make a mistake, you're not going to win, are you? You are not going to win.
You're absolutely.
It was miserable,
right.
Honestly. I think it was my first game at Old Trafford. It was a 1-0 win at home to Birmingham City, and I actually played quite well, but I shit myself. Like I said, I was 24, 25 years old though. I wasn't ready for that. But it's good. It's good experience though. I buzz off it, honestly. I think it's the best learning experience in my life. No matter how bad it gets, I think you can always learn from something.
Yeah.
Mark, why did you become a sponsor of Solihull Moors? I love this, by the way. This is class.
To be fair, the women's coach got in contact with me and said, I watched the channel, would you be interested in getting involved? And I said, yeah, it's my daughter plays. She's on the books with Blues at the moment. And
Blues, Birmingham?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I coached with a couple of the lads last year as well, so I think women's football's coming on a lot.
Yeah.
And they're a local team. I like the club, so it just came about from that, really.
I love this, mate. I think this is something that we need to get into maybe next season. We're the same. We sponsor a few teams. We actually sponsor Earlswood and things, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So we sponsor a few, but I think next season we're going to do a women's team for sure.
100%.
Because it's a massively growing thing that I love. And as somebody who's got a daughter, I want them opportunities to be available for people like my
so
daughter.
Much better as well.
Exactly.
The players who play for England now are not going to be as good as the players that
for
are
sure
5 years behind and 10 years behind, because you can see the coaching and everything.
Everything, the infrastructure, everything. And the final question is from somebody who's actually got a verified tick on Twitter.
Right, okay.
Oh, Lee Chappie.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I do.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
Oh,
has he asked you to come on yet?
Okay, so Lee Chappie is obviously the Jamie Vardy lookalike guy. You know, your face was incredible. And his question is he rocking a C920 still? If you know, you know. What is that?
I don't know. I think he's
no one knows, Lisa. Pipe down.
I think he's talking about a Logitech webcam.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is what I used to put on top of my laptop for the first 2 years. Very good. You don't think you can buy them anymore. Yeah.
So when I put on Twitter, just get those burning questions in for Mark. I'm not talking about which Logitech camera users.
Are we going to cut this out or not?
No chance, mate. That's gold.
All the questions.
Lee Chappie, you're better than this. Come on, guys. That was incredible. I enjoyed that, Mark.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And even though you probably don't agree with my Tony Pulis shout, you do. You remind me of Tony Pulis, mate. You're wicked.
Well, I'd have to meet him.
And again, I'm very sorry for the letdown last week, but we got over it. I feel like I am buzzing now, even more than I was for coming on Driving with Goldbridge. Quickly then, Mark, before we finish, we always do the usual. Tomasi.
Oh, up the Fozcast.
What was that?
That was like, I don't know what that was. Anyway.
Up the Fozcast.
Up the Fozcast.
He said cast. It's not cast, he said cast.
Midlands boy, isn't it?
Mark Goldbridge, superstar. Cheers, mate.
No worries.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well,
brilliant. Cheers, Mark. Thank you.